Hey folks, Mike Hilsden here. How are ya? Guys, lesson 5. We are steaming through. Now, here's a few things that you may not know about, and it's something that you really want to have a chat with, in this case, your web developer. When they've built your website, if they went the extra part, and obviously you've got to pay these guys to do this, of course, is one, set up your Google Analytics and all that kind of stuff. Now, step one with that, of course, is to get a Google ID, which is generally a Gmail account, which is very easy to get. Now, once I would recommend that you select an email address that you use as your Google ID, so you can link up your YouTube channel, your Google Drive, okay. I tell you what, with that Google Drive and Google Docs and all that kind of stuff, it is pretty powerful, especially with wanting to collect data and all that kind of stuff. The most important one, guys, seeing we are driving a lot of traffic from Facebook, and your chatbots are inside Facebook, and that's everything about this whole messenger strategy revolves around Facebook. There's a little bit of code that you can pick up from your business manager under Facebook ads, and it's called a pixel. And that is just a little piece of code that you drop into your website, okay, so we can retarget people who have gone to visit your website. Now that plays a good part, because you might have traffic coming from a Google search, let's say, and these people haven't found you on Facebook, so that channel's coming in from Google search. You might have links on business cards and all that kind of stuff, which is taking them to your website. So if you don't get them into Messenger at your website, you can always get them on a pixel. And that's where we create audiences later. We'll take you through those, where that audience is going to be pretty important, okay? And you've invested the money, whether it's money, time, whatever, to promote your website. These are the things you need to address. The other one, obviously, is Google Analytics, and that's just a short piece. It'll give you like a little ID, and make sure you get that into your websites as well. So that's going to help Google also report back to you, and also pinpoints where some errors are. Obviously, a mobile first strategy is totally key with all of this, guys. But basically Google's algorithm, if your web page takes longer than 3 seconds to load, bang, it's going to hurt, okay? It's just like Facebook. If you're not responsive within 3 seconds, which is why we have automated messenger bots, okay, you have lost that person. You've paid for them, but you've lost them. Okay, so you weigh it up. Get it on a great server, get it on a great host, and it's going to pay dividends for you long term. Right, so I'm going to come in here and we'll show you what this is all looking like. Okay, so we'll go back to our page here. Okay, now with the pixel, okay, a little bit different to here. In Chrome, you can get what they call a little Facebook pixel helper, and this is going to let you know whether your pixel is working. Okay, we can set up events in here as well. That's on a more advanced part. We will be covering these down the track when you start putting more web views into your strategy. Okay, so that's how you can pick that up. Now, where your pixel is, and I am assuming at this particular point in time that you have got your business manager set up as per the early lessons, that you have set your ads account up and connected that with your business. A little note on that also, guys. Make sure you get the country right, okay? Because if you don't get the country right, then all the timing falls out when you start to run ads. Also got something to do with a little bit of currency there as well, folks. So to find your pixel, okay, if it's already set up, in this case, setting it up, you're going to go through the same process. You're just going to create it. So let's go into pixels. Okay, this is the pixel, the page we're looking at here right now. Okay, I'm going to select the chase, like you've got a number of pixels you can actually assign. I want to look at the chatbot agency pixel. Okay, we've had a little bit of action on that day, which is very nice. And we are going to go to the setup button, click on install pixel. Okay, now this one's pretty cool. I think it's all linked in with WordPress and stuff like that. Yep, here we go. So if you have a Joomla site or a Shopify, I think WordPress would be on it. Yep, here you go, Wix. Just basically connect it that way. The way we do it, we're still old school, folks, only because we want to control our own destiny, is to manually add the pixel code. Okay, so that's the code there. So if we just copy that in this website. So if you're on a plan where it includes a website or landing page and all that kind of stuff, this is where you would put it. So you go into options, go to analytics. Okay, and drop it in here. And that's it. Job done. So that's with the Facebook pixel. Then pop down here. Why not doing that? And then we're going to here the touch base code. In here, they'll just ask you to drop your URL, and then they can run a little bit of a ping and make sure that yeah, it is working, and then of course go back to that Facebook pixel helper and away you go. However, if you're using a web developer, just email the instructions to the web developer. They'll know what to do, follow them up. You can always test them and so find out when they've done it, because you're going to install the Facebook pixel helper in Chrome, and that will show you also what other pages have pixels as well. I mean, other websites. Right, the next bit, of course, is to keep Google happening, because Google's got these little crawlers that go around and looking for new info. So obviously your blogs are important here. I know I've been a bit slack myself. But what you want to do here is create a sitemap. Okay, just add that sitemap to Google. That tells them, bang, there is a map of your website, and you're basically helping us to go find that and gather that information. All right, so that's purely under your search.google.com. And obviously with that, in the previous lesson where we covered having a Google ID, this is where your Google ID comes into play. Like here, okay, that's my Google ID, all right? So that way I attach everything to do with the big Google guys, such as YouTube, etc. It revolves around that. The other part, folks, is go to analytics.google.com, okay, and make sure that you set up your web properties for a Google ID. So in this case, it's very, very simple. You can pop along here, you can add them, all that kind of jazz. I've got to be honest, I'm not very good at Google, but your web developers will be. That code there, UA blah, 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 is the one that we go and drop into here. Okay? That way Google can track and we can start Google can start collecting information. That in turn is going to be good for our business. All right. So we could probably do 3-hour webinars on these ones specifically. That's an overview for you enough for you to have enough information that you can take that to your web developer, or even if you're doing it yourself. Okay? But first up, make sure you get that Google ID. Link it up, just get a Gmail account. It's much easier, and rock on there. Keep everything separate and all that kind of stuff. So that's what I do. It works, has worked for me now for 20 odd years. Okay, guys, and that's as hard as it gets. So, guys, thanks very much for joining me on this one. I am looking forward to the next lesson. Okay, where we're actually going to get into some pretty exciting stuff, such as how to reach out to your existing database. Okay, anyway, take care, and we will see you in the next lesson. Cheers, bye now.